What is good, fellow collectors? This is Chief Sir. Welcome to Lost. And today we are going to open up the Tan Vanguard. So, previous video I discussed my current Vala haul, which was pretty much Series 5. I was under the impression I had some figures that I thought I had. So I thought I had a Desert Condor. And the reason I was thinking that was for the simple fact that I knew I had already had the Tan Vanguard on pre-order. And I have two Steel Brigade in like desert camo. And I have Desert Rat, so that's 3. The driver is 4. My Condor and Desert Fatigues would have been 5, hence the vehicle. But I'm wrong. So with that being said, this Friday is going to be the Black Friday sale, and Vala is going to have a pretty decent, I think it's certain percentages based off of the amount that the amount of money that you spend per for that particular order. The great thing is, like, your entire order will have an $8 shipping flat rate fee. So I'm comfortable with that. I'm going to order the figures that I need. Probably get a couple more glow in the dark Swarm Troopers. Pick up the Desert Condor. Pick up the female Equal Opportunity. And pick up the female assault pack, Desert Assault Pack ish, whatever it's called. But so, and that will give me 3, 4, 5. Female makes 6, so 1 in the turret. And then Trigger, he looks more like he has a urban, the new Trigger. So the new Trigger looks more like he has like a an urban type of camo. It's not really desert. So I may pick up like another loose Condor and just like swap heads, right? I mean, look, when we were out there, we were just wearing all kind of shit, especially when we were on patrols. I mean, they didn't really, they weren't really big on 670-1, which is like, military wear. So with that being said, may be able to pull it off. So we'll see. I got a couple days to think about it. Today is I don't have a couple. Well, today was Wednesday. Now, as making this video, it's Thursday. And it's really quiet, right? You don't hear no, it's quiet because the kids are sleeping. And I got some time to actually do some videos. So so we're gonna put those on order, and then hopefully get them by within the next 3 to 5 days. Obviously, I'll be back in Pennsylvania, but that'll give us the opportunity just to put those 2 figs inside when it comes time for that. So I really dig this fig. I'm not a big fan of the Union Jack flag, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. We were all out there doing the job. But, so let me get his vest back on. And we'll get him all situated. And then we're going to open up. There's that dead silence. I'm sorry. So one of the segments I want to do once I get this thing up and running live, right, is two things at once. Can you do two things at once? Can you open up your figure and actually talk at the exact same time? Obviously, I failed that. For a brief minute, there was dead silence, and you guys were probably thinking, like, what's this dude gonna do? And yeah, there's that awkward silence, right? So, with that being said, I'm practicing two things at once. So that's messing with the fig as well as commentating at the exact same time. If everything works out like I'm hoping it will, right? I will have another guest, and yeah, they will be able to have convo ag as well. So it won't be all me, yippee yapping the entire time. Because I am a fan and not a fanatic, so I know some things, not everything. And that tends to leave like an awkward silence due to the fact that you say what you think you know, and then hey, you go from there, right? And then there are those around you who are like, yeah, no, sound like a complete moron. It is what it is. You keep going. I really do enjoy these. I mean, every time I look at these Action Force, I just remember the gear that I was wearing while I was out there. He's got a multi-tool. He's got knives. He's got his little camo set, spare magazines for both his sidearm and his primary weapon. He's got an ACOG with a rail system, collapsible buttstock, old school issued magazines. Mag matches the bolt. He's got his first aid kit, right? First aid kit. His FAC. Oh my God. As the more and more years that get away from me from being out, the more and more I dump. So, which is good, right? You don't need to have all that in your brain. Like you need to release all that jargon, all that lingo. I knew there was tape. So I am having a couple of an adult beverage. So I probably might say even dumber shit now. Dumber shit. But I am really, really interested to see. I mean, I obviously these Vanguards have already been out and about, but I am really, really interested to see it firsthand. And it looks dope, right? I mean, come on. And the crazy thing is like the price point. The price point. Dang, the price point. If you guys get a chance, pick this up. Right? It is tan, so. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It flows really well. There's nothing in your little kit. Stickers, Reaper Fire card. Now, so because this is a this does have the mount, right? So your machine gun is going to go up there. It's going to mount, and it's not going to have the accurate swivel. So it's going to be that just where the people were complaining, where it doesn't elevate up and down. Right. It is what it is, right? What are you going to do? He never promised that. Go back, look at all his videos. Never once did he talk about that. So he gave you what he advertised, and that's that. Me personally, I am super excited about this. So man, it is, dude. The packing job on this thing is amazing. So like, there is no excess. It is like perfectly packed appropriately. Everything's stuffed in the back. You have your missile system in the box if you purchased it that way. And then this thing just like, it just slid right in. That is awesome. Give me a minute. I got to turn on this light, make it a little brighter in here. But that's where we get that halo effect. So you got to pick your poison, right? Got to pick your poison. So that's as dim as it goes before it shuts off. But it is a required part. So like that, you could actually get into the areas. So 1 second. Okay. So it does look like you have to open the driver's side before you get to the passenger side. It is pretty cool that they are suicide doors. So a lot of space. Man, one of the things that, so because this sits so low, there's, I gotta say, at least, I don't know. So whatever that amount is, right? A digit. There's a digit deep, right? Before I hit the bottom. Now, imagine someone actually makes a custom fold in right there, or not fold in, but drop in, and it has a pop top where you could, almost like the sniper case, right? You pop it open, it has the actual weapons all laid out in there. I recently watched the movie, I can't remember what it is, right? But the Secret Service, when their vehicle had flipped over, also similar to like when Nick Fury got stuck in his like whatever SUV that he was driving in. He had specific locations where there were certain weapon systems that he could use, right? So in this movie, the Secret Service guys were able to. It had Gerard Butler. He's protecting the president. Anyways, you could drop down the seat and then you could get to the weapon systems that way, or you could go through the back and then you could get him. But imagine if someone was to create that little flat area, like just even it out, but there was just enough space within that case that you could slide in there, and you had a rocket launcher. You basically had a weapons pack, right? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine like the weapons only, the weapons with the magazines and all that, right? With maybe, but obviously the rocket launcher version, and it's in a case that fits right back here. More than enough space. More than enough space to do it. Any of you customizers out there, hey, there's an idea. See if you can make that happen. Ooh, is it Toxic Toy Depot? I've purchased stuff from him. Let me double check. He could probably create something like that too. Let's see, what was it? Anyways, as I'm trying to look this stuff up and as I'm yapping away, this vehicle is pretty freaking awesome, man. It's dope. It's light, right? No issues whatsoever. Everything just clips in real easy. It's pretty dope in my opinion. I like it. I like it. It's great. So because I only got one of these, I didn't really plan on like creating a real scene for it necessarily, but I was going to create some type of dial. And if you look, right, this got a sort of sand-based, rocky, terrain-ish to it. So I was hoping I was going to get enough of these and then basically just like set it on there, and that's what it was going to be. But I mean, we're looking at least 4 across, 5 deep. So yeah, that's a lot of those, right? But or you could just probably just have someone create that base floor for it. It'd probably be cheaper. It probably would be a lot cheaper to do it that way. But again, that's where your imagination's flowing of the possibilities that you can actually do, all the stuff that's that's possible with that particular vehicle and stuff like that. So that his head goes down, it doesn't really go up, but they got that new head pack. So if they have a tannish version, yeah, I'm jumping all over it. Drop downs. This is a good figure, man. It's got some really good movement. It's stiff and everything, but that's fine. Man, you know the worst thing that was driving vehicles or being a passenger in a vehicle is when you had your full load, right? All your gear on, and you had that damn brain bucket. Oh my god, that was the worst. Oh, so freaking heavy. Oh, so annoying. Oh, so annoying. Anyways, some people have, bad PTSD. Like, if that is the only thing I have to complain about, I made out really, really well while I was downrange. Some of my brothers and sisters are carrying a lot more. So yeah, like when I make these statements and stuff, please don't take them with a grain of salt. It's not. It's me being petty, is all. Toxic Toy Depot. Why? Ugh. Dude, I am scatterbrained, bro. chalk it up to one too many cervezas. Maybe, right? I don't know. One too many something. So yeah, I think it is Toxic Toy Depot, or was it an Etsy purchase? I think it was an Etsy purchase, right? Let's see. Not deals. Purchases. There it is. Yeah, Toxic Toy Depot. Yeah. So maybe I don't know. Maybe he watches this one day and he's like, "Oh shit, yeah, that's something I could create." As you see, you could push the cart forward, or I'm sorry, you could push the seat forward, back, all that other good stuff. I'm not going to give you a full review. There are way too many reviews on this thing. This thing's been sitting at my home for a minute. I just really want to try and enjoy it. I want to set it up, enjoy it, put it somewhere, and then yeah. So there's a hole in the actual. Is this a 240? 240 machine gun? Oh, that's pretty dope. All right. Well, it's a 240 machine gun, so it's belt fed. Let's see. Oh, did he have? Was it designed? No, it wasn't. It was not. So it's designed to have the rounds inserted in, but there's no ejection port. So there's no ability as into fake like the rounds are being fired, right? Which is cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it is what it is. You're still going to get a pretty decent view of it because you still do see the rounds being fed. So technically, you don't want your rounds to be binding like this because then that could cause jamming because the feed is not the belt being fed into it uh, is not being mechanically fed correctly. So that's where you'll get your jamming. And then, yeah. One thing you don't want in a firefight is to have your weapon malfunction, right? So anything that causes your weapon system not to fire is a malfunction, right? So you see that little hump right there? That is not a proper feed. But that has nothing to do with nothing. That's just me recognizing something and then just making a statement or making an observation. That's it. It's just an observation. So you gotta take it into consideration when your system is firing, right, and it's going right. So your piston and your bolt, right, is pushing through. Your firing pin is hitting the round, and the next course of action is for it to eject as the bolt retracts back, right? Because it's a gas powered system, and when you have that, it's basically the next round goes in, the next round goes in, the next round goes in. If you have it candid or if you have it like sagging, right, which is why they always have an assistant gunner is to try and keep the round, the belt fed rounds level. That's why they want to keep it level, so like that it feeds correctly. There's no jamming, and you're laying down as much brass as you can, right? As many rounds as downrange as you can let go. That's what you want to do. Right. Any blockage or anything, any stoppage, any malfunction, yeah, that allows the enemy to adjust and fix and course correct, right? You don't want the enemy to be thinking about nothing but hot bullets strafing their face or their position, if they're behind a tree, whatever. That's all you want them thinking about. You don't want them thinking about return fire. That is not what you want them to fucking be considering. Nope. So as a weapons mechanic, I prided. Is that even a word? Prided? Anyways, my primary mission was to ensure that weapon systems did not jam, so I could give the warrior ultimate time to destroy the enemy, right? Lay as much fire as they can, whether it's suppressive or direct. The intent was to overwhelm the enemy with nothing but bullets. Bullets. That's it. That is it. So, theoretically, when you're sitting in the whenever you're behind an actual assault, well, I gotta be careful because different TTPs, right? Different tactics, techniques, and procedures. So it was different. It was different for everyone and how they did it. So what you wanted to do or ensure was, this is your primary, right? This would be your secondary, right? If something happens to this, you run out of ammunition, anything, then you fall back to this. If anything happens to this, then you fall back to your sidearm, right? So normally they would have some type of clamp or something. So like that, this would be pretty close to them at all times, because you're not going to have this draped across you. That's not what you want. So you would have it somewhere near you, right? Quick access. Always quick access. All right. I think what I'll do is I'm going to switch Desert Rat out. I'm going to put him in the passenger seat. And then he'll have his weapon between his legs. You have your weapon right there. I will put this guy in the turret. Yeah, let's put him in the turret. And the other thing too is like, oh man. So the infantry guys were issued vests that were not very bulky, right? So like this is a full vest, right? That's a full vest. And your combat guys were issued something like this, right? It's light. You see it? It doesn't cover everything, but it still has the plate in the center of your chest. And why was that? Maneuverability. These are very, very bulky, especially when you put plates inside of them. Oh, they are not comfortable. Oh, man. So, when, as a mechanic, right, we were part of the combat support or combat service support, right? There's combat support, combat service support, combat support, combat service support. Okay, and the further you got away meant the further you got away from combat, but yet the more shit you had to wear. Hey man, I don't make up the policies. I just followed them, and I made sure that all my soldiers followed them. Right? So when I was traveling, I had the full vest, the neck piece, and all of it. I had it all. Had it all. Had to wear all of it. Brain bucket. Ugh, not cool. But it is what it is. You do what you are told to do. Why? Why do you do what you're told to do? Because discipline and following orders will not only keep you alive, but your buddies alive. Your responsibility was to ensure that you were not the issue. You were not the problem. Right? Don't make it out to be about you. Which is why this sort of generation, I don't get you guys. You're so... I'm not going to say you're entitled. What? I guess entitled is a word that you could use, but you're definitely very, 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 very narcissistic. Like, you guys are all about me, me, me. I'm like, what in the world is up with that? Like, is it me, 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 or is it team? We. Right? Not we, but we, as in the team, as in ensuring that everything you did was to ensure that the person to the left and right of you was on point. Right? That's what it's all about. They were on point, you were on point. Right? Am I my brother's keeper? Like, it mattered. It was very important. Now, unfortunately, that we're a good majority of us are back. That's really what we miss. We don't miss the service. We miss the camaraderie. We miss the utter sacrifice. Is it sacrifice? Is that the right word I'm looking for? Because it is a sacrifice, right? You are sacrificing your individualism to ensure that the team is successful, right? And then there will be there are opportunistic times that will ensure that yes, it could be about you, right? But it was always, always, always first and foremost about the team. So, yeah. But yeah, so I mean, this thing is pretty dope, right? So, you know, you have extra stuff here and there, some cool little accessories, right? Because I mean, Yo, believe it or not, water and caffeine and all that other stuff, that is definitely what made you go, right? I don't think there was not a one person out there who was taking some type of caffeine, whether it was carbonated drinks, rippets, like whatever it needed to be, you were consuming it to ensure that you were good to go, right? So the two cup holders are in the back. This is supposed to be like, that's so cool. That is so cool. Talk about logos and everything. That is so awesome. Caffeine, caffeine. Oh, they had caffeine pills. Like there's just all kind of stuff, man. There's all kind of stuff. Like you were taking whatever you need to take to function. My caffeine of choice was Coca-Cola, and my caffeine of choice is still Coca-Cola. Wake up in the morning, people grab a coffee, I grab a Coca-Cola. I know it's not good for you. Some habits are hard to break. So yeah, you see how this one's a flat surface, right? And then this one has some texture to it. Imagine if you made a platform of these, and then this is what was sitting on top of it. But again, you would have to have at least 5, 10, 15, 20, about 20 of them. And I mean, this is pretty decent size. So at that point now you're thinking like, okay, if I'm just displaying this, I have it on that. Would I have to go 20 by so 20, let's say 21. So we're talking 24, 25, right? To make it just a little wider. So you could put maybe some little like those burning effects that came with the damn G.I. Joe. What's his name? Oh, brain fart. Came with the Televiper, not the Televiper, damn it. Scrap iron. Scrap iron. He comes with those little blow up things, and you can put them all around, and then there's your dio piece, right? So yeah, that would be it, right? So you'd have a bunch of these. You'd have a bunch of those flame effects all over. Probably have it like candid, cocked up or something. Who knows? On its side, like maybe get someone to do some battle damage on it. They do make the muddy version, which are pretty cool, but I mean, like, I would like to see like some battle damage because it's more realistic. Like there were no perfect vehicles out there. All of them had some type of scar. It's just the way it was. Just the way it was. So, I hope you enjoyed the tan Vanguard and a little bit of memory lane that I went down talking about some of the crap that was in Afghanistan and Iraq. Each one was unique in its own way. Having to experience both of them was educational and a life lesson I hope no one ever has to learn again. So, yeah, in a combat capacity. Now, if you want to go there, you want to visit, you know what I mean, and things end up becoming a lot better and peaceful, then yes, beautiful country, like sure, but you know, in some sense or another, there's just a lot of people who are tainted. Like, so, but this thing is great. All the videos that you've seen in reference to how awesome or like I don't I don't see any real like okay, so the steering wheel don't you know move the tires. Yeah, but that's fine. You could do that on your own, right? I mean, it's not a remote control car. You can make it into a remote control car. I'm sure people are attempting to do that now. Um, so yeah, 10 out of 10, man. This thing's awesome. This thing is awesome, right? I still have the ability to fit two more troops in there. One female, my female desert trooper that I'm gonna get, and the desert condor. Um, the only thing is condor sitting in front and desert rat sitting in the back. You know who holds the rank, right? That's gonna that'll be the interesting part. But yeah, this thing is pretty cool. And the good thing is I didn't need to pull trigger out of his package to put him in here. So it works out. It works out. I forgot it came with the driver. So 4, 5, 6. Total of 6. And then you could put them on the side. 7, 8, 9, 10. If you don't want to use the 240 mount, and you could take that off, or swing arm. It's a mount or swing arm, however you really want to call it. It's really up to you. Well, the mount is attached to the swing arm, right? Your 240 mounts to the swing arm, right? So the adapter piece is the mount. So yes. All that shit I had to fix. I had to make sure we had extras on hand so we could switch them out. Fob Fenty. Forward operating base Fenty. Suck it. All right, people. Fellow collectors, thank you for watching the video. And I wonder if that came up. Oh, interesting. Sorry, it says the battery is low. Huh. Anyways, thanks for joining. Hope you have a great night and or day or morning, whenever you're watching this. Have a great rest of your time and keep watching. Thanks for joining.